Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel today. My name is Christian and today we're here to talk about the debut record from a band called Ocean Grove. They are a new metal band, hardcore band from Melbourne, Australia, and this is their debut record titled The Rhapsody Tapes. Now, if you follow any kind of rock media outlet on Facebook or Twitter or anything like that, you would have heard of these guys by now, and that's because this record has been praised by every single one of them. And because of that, I went into this record apprehensively, and that's because a lot of the time the rock media push these bands and they're nothing special at all. Just look at AP right now, they've got this band called Hey Violet on their cover, and I listen to their music and they're just awful. But the rock media have gotten one right. Not completely right, but right. This is a really, really good record from this band, one that really shows that a band on their first record can really do a lot. Now, this isn't a perfect record like those outlets will have you believe, but it is really, really good, so let's get into it. What I love about A Natural Woman opens up this record, and it's a 1 minute 20 long intro track, which has a lot of really weird soundscapes. And after listening to this record multiple times, this track really sets you up for what you're in for. And it blends perfectly into the next track. And that next track is Beer, and it opens up with this really great nu metal bounce riff, but with more pace to it. And the vocalist scream from this band is something that is really, really good. It's not just that typical scream, there's something else about it that makes it stand out. And the chorus on this track is also really, really good. It's a nice contrast to the screamed verses. Thunderdome is then next up, and it opens up like a 90s hip-hop track almost, and it sets that tone really, really well. And it then jumps into this really heavy chorus with those cleans back at the forefront. And it doesn't look back from there, it stays upbeat for the rest of the track while still throwing in those experimental elements all the way throughout. And there's also a really nice guitar solo in the bridge of this track, which shows off that sometimes simplicity is what is needed, and it works perfectly. Intimate Alien was one of the singles from this record, and deservedly so. It's an absolute banger. Opens up with some really cool synth going from your left and right ear, and then brings in this really cool funky bass. And the chorus in this song is driven with screaming vocals this time, with rapping really driving the verses, and it works really well. And there's also some psychedelic guitars that are surrounding this track, and it really works well to set the tone for what this track is. Really adds a lot to the song's atmosphere. The production on this track is done really, really well. It's clean enough so that you can hear what's going on, but not too clean that it removes any of the intensity of this record. The production elements are put in to really elevate a lot of the tracks instead of detracting from them, and that's really, really refreshing. The Wrong Way then comes in and introduces a completely new sound to this record, driven by clean guitars and clean vocals. There's also an element of 90s grunge in this track, which works really well within this band's sound. And the chorus on this track is absolutely massive. It's one of the highlights of the entire record. The addition of a song like this into this record really shows off this band's ability for songwriting as well as their wide range of influences. Slow Soak is another interlude track which breaks up the first and second half of this record, and it's done to great taste. It's once again surrounded by these really weird and cool soundscapes, but this one has some more hip-hop influence thrown in. These Boys Set Fires then comes in to introduce the second half of this record, and for me it's probably the weakest track on the record. Not to say it's bad, but it just feels like the most generically written. The vocals in the chorus don't really work for me, and overall the chorus as a whole just falls flat. As well as that, the structuring and heavy elements of this track just kind of feel typical, especially compared to the rest of this record. It's just a song that feels okay in a record full of songs that go from great to fantastic. Up next on this record is While You're High, You Can Say What You Like. And it really opens up with this down-tempo pumping riff, which is a really nice change from the intensity and upbeat riffs we've had so far on the record. The subtle vocals on this track work so well and add this level of mysteriousness to the record. It's a really brooding track, which again adds another element to this band's repertoire, and they make it work seamlessly. The amount of variety all the way throughout this record is truly impressive, especially considering this is this band's first record. There are elements from so many different influences throughout this record, and they're pulled off 99% of the time. It constantly keeps this record interesting, and you really have no idea what the next track is going to sound like. Mr. Centipede for me is another highlight on this record and may be my favourite track. It again opens up mysterious and brooding and really has you wondering what's going to go on for the rest of the song. It then opens up into maybe the biggest chorus that this record has to offer, and the transition is done perfectly. The vocal performance on this track is also his highlight on the record. This vocalist really does have an incredible voice, and he unleashes it on this track. From Daylight, I think that's how you pronounce it, is another interlude track on this record and is done to have a little bit of a break before the end of the record. And these interludes, they don't feel repetitive, they feel necessary, and they're used to great taste. Stratosphere Love is the next up on the record and opens up with this monstrous riff, bringing back the sound that we heard on the first half of this record and blending it with the sound that we've heard on the second half. However, for me, the verses kind of feel a bit weak on this track. However, the chorus is enough to really save this track from being pretty average. The song overall is a nice addition to the record, but not one that really stands out. Hitachi then closes out this record, and unfortunately, it's a song that doesn't really feel like it has a place on the record. It just kind of plays through and doesn't really feel like there's any reason to pay attention to it. And it also doesn't really feel like a full stop on this record. It's an unfortunate way to close out the record, but fortunately, it's not enough to detract from the overall feel of the album. Overall, this is a great debut from Ocean Grove. The songwriting ability within this band is just so impressive for a band on their first record. The amount of variation on this record is truly impressive from a band on their debut, and it's refreshing to hear a band who just want to be themselves and don't want to pander to an audience. So my top 3 tracks are going to be Beer, Intimate Alien, and Mr. Centipede, and I'm going to give this record a 4 out of 5. Anyway, what did you guys think about the record? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Did you like the record? Did you not like the record? Let me know down below. We're here to have a conversation about music, so let's do that. But if you're just going to fill up the comment section with hate and insults, just know I'm going to read your comments and laugh at how pathetic your life is. Anyway, thanks for watching my video today, guys. Please hit subscribe down below, and I'll see you next time. Fresh Currents.